Hello everybody. One of the things I keep saying to people is to keep having a go, sow some seeds, see what happens, just have a go, because it builds your experience, and it's still building my experience now after 50 years, so it's a lesson well worth learning and using. And I'm going to show you something now, and then we're going to pot some plants on. I've got a few flowers to pot on today and then a few veg plants, so I'll show you that now. Now up here on the hanging shelf, I've got a multitude of plants at different stages of growth. These are the marshmallow, these are the ranunculus that I just popped in the other day. Nothing from them yet, no surprise there. These are some lettuce. These are going to want potting on, and I'll get that done. There's actually nothing in there, that's ready for stuff to go into. These are some late sown sweet peas. I sowed these about 2 weeks after the others that I sowed for autumn. And these are a very early spring flowering variety. Got broad beans coming up in here, just coming through. These are Brisa Maxima. This is a grass in there. And I've got 2 or 3 Olea grandiflora. They're a flower. Herbs, some fig plants. Rocket not looking too brilliant. This is the veg sowing from a couple of months ago actually, that I'm going to be pricking out later. But it's these I wanted to show you. This is amazing. I only sowed these a month ago. These are cornflowers, and if we look underneath, look at the root growth on that. So those modules are full of roots now, and the plants will probably hold until next spring, but I'm going to pot them on. And this is what I say about building the experience. I normally grow cornflowers at this time of the year because it will give you a massive plant come the spring. You can sow them in the spring, nothing wrong with that, and you'll get a plant 3 or 4 foot tall eventually. But if I plant these in spring, the ones that I've sown in the autumn, the previous autumn before, they will get up to 6, 7 or even 8 foot tall and be full of flowers, and that attracts all the beneficial insects in that your harvests need. So we're going to pop these on, and I'm going to have a little chat about them. I've got also some Ami Majors in here, and that's in the same boat. All that is, the roots is coming flying out, so they could be potted on as well. So these are cornflowers I've got here, and I've just read on the back of the label, it was the 24th of September that I sowed these seeds, not seals, didn't sow any seals. But you can see how well they've grown in that time. Now, normally what happens for me, especially being so far up north, up here in Cumbria, you know, I can throw a stone over there and it bounces twice and hits Scotland. It's not that far away at all. So we're in that cold zone, and many of the Scottish viewers will know that. And we get a lot of the rain, the same as the Scots do as well. But anyway, I sowed these in September, and what normally happens is in October we start to get frosts. So the temperatures drop, the weather changes. So what will happen with these normally is you sow them in September, towards the end of September, and they start to grow. And once they've got a couple of leaves, they're starting to make roots, and these little modules will slowly fill out over winter, and you generally sort of repot these in January or February if they need it, because the growth has slowed right down. Well, because our weather's got so screwy in the last couple of years, and it's so mild at the moment, these have grown on so well that I need to pot them on now, because I say the roots are coming out the bottom there. They can't do any more development. They can just hold in that stance for a few months. But if you think about it, I wouldn't like it. We've got the rest of November, December, January, February, March. We've got 3 or 4 months before these are going to go in the ground and find extra soil to go into. So I'm going to pot these on now. And the varieties I've got in here, I've got 2 varieties. I've got Classic Magic and Classic Fantastic. There's quite a few under the Classic range, and any of them, they're bonny little flowers. And I also, in the spring, I will sow Black Ball and Blue Ball as well. 2 more, but they'll only come to about 4 foot in height, but that's great. That's all I want at that time of year. So as I say, sowing these in autumn, if I sowed them in spring, they'd get to about this high. If I sow them in autumn, they're going to get to 6, 7 foot tall. They will obviously need support, but they make great long stems for flower arranging, and you may only need to put 1 or 2 into a flower arrangement. But there, you can see lovely roots on there. So these are just going to get chucked in these modules. I might actually take some compost out of these. Just going to basically pop these on so that it can carry on developing as this warm weather seems to be wanting to carry on. I mean, a good example of that is those sweet peas I just showed you there. They're just germinating, and I was expecting to have to take them home and put them on the kitchen floor to germinate them, to get them going, but they've germinated fine in here. So there's a tip for you. If you wanted it, you can still get sweet peas going now because it's so mild. And of course you can definitely get these cornflowers going as well. But I'll get on and pot these on. I've waffled enough. So that's that one sowed. There's 15 cells. These are the container wise trays again, as are these. These are the little module trays, the 40s. And I think that's contributed to where the roots have come down, because of the way these things are designed in the shape of the modules. It just sends the roots down. I say I'm over the moon with these things. But anyway, I've got 15 out of that, out of 20 cells that are sowed, and there's 1 plant left. That's classic fantastic. The other one is classic magic. The one I really wanted, classic romantic, I couldn't find the seed this year, but there you go, que sera. These will be lovely, and I've got the blue and the black ball to sow in the spring as well. So that's more than enough. In fact, I'll probably end up giving some of these away as it is anyway, because there'll be far too many. But I'll just water them now and let them sulk for a week or 2, and then they'll get off. I'm hoping I don't have to repot these in January really, but we'll see what happens. I say, and you know when you need to repot something, when the roots are piling out the bottom of the module, you know they're looking, they're searching, they want something, so give them what they want. And especially now while it's so mild. And growing seeds at this time of the year for the hardy annual flowers can be a bit funny. I've had it in years where I've sown, I always sow at the same time, the end of September going into October, and 9 times out of 10 everything goes okay and plants will grow. But I've had situations where I've had very early frost at the end of September and it's just killed everything outright, and then I've had to start again. Or I've had the opposite side of the coin where we haven't had cold weather, and I've had some of these flowers in flower inside the polytunnel, one of the polytunnels, by Christmas, which is just madness. But you never know what you're going to get into, but it's well worth doing, because this is 1 less tray of plants that I need to sow next spring. Right, so what I've got here is a selection of winter greens and salad plants for the winter, and I just filled a normal seed tray with sieved compost and made little furrows in with my fingertips to sow little lines of seed. And you can see there I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, and I probably had 9 different varieties of plants in there. And I'm interested in this one at the top, very top here. This is broccoli rabe, and I'm going to try, because it's a bit overgrown, it's been in here a bit too long, I'm going to see if I can pull some out to pot on. It's useful to be if you're ever a hairdresser, I suppose. There we go. Now I can dig out a good portion of this and start to separate them up for potting on. Because while the weather's so mild, I figure, well, I might as well try and grow some of these on and see where we end up with them. I mean, the plan was that they should have been in the ground and growing a month ago. It is a 45-day crop after all. But we'll see what we can get. And because this is sieved compost, this should come off these roots very easily, and then it'll be easy to untangle. So I'll just manipulate them a little bit to loosen it. Grab hold of the plants. and just shake them. There we go, we're just left with roots and little bits of compost, and you can very gently tease these apart and pot them on. I'll pot on more than I need. Some of these won't survive this process because the plants are so far on. But you can see if I pull gently these apart, you can see they just come apart. There's no cracking, there's no breaking of roots, all because they were in sieve compost. And you can see now that's a good plant and that will grow on. So I'm going to pot those on, separate them off, pot them on, and then see what we get. It's worthwhile having a go anyway. So I'm sat here, it's raining outside, so it's a rainy day job. So that is some plants that I've just rescued. They're the broccoli rabe, and the variety for that is Broccoletto Quarantino Riccio. And most of the broccoli rabes are a 60-day crop. This is a new one that I've only just tried this year. I've only had one crop out of it, and that's gone, so this will be my second. And this is a 45-day seed to crop. I think they've probably been in that seed tray, wherever it's gone now, down here, for probably a good 30 days anyway. But they've been held back because they haven't got the space to grow. So hopefully, as the weather's still warm, they'll get away now, fill those with roots, and then I can plant them somewhere, maybe in the tunnel. We'll see what the weather's like when I come to plant them out. But that's a good rescue, that, and that's a crop moving forward. I will put the name on the screen for that, just because it's a bit of a mouthful, along with the broccoli. And I'll just pop these in the water bath, just to hydrate them. I'll leave them there 10 minutes, come and rescue them. So I've got those plants just over there draining away nicely, and then I'll stack them away somewhere. They're absolutely drenched at the minute, so hopefully they'll grow on. I know the cornflowers will. The broccoli rabe, I'm a little bit like that, but we'll see. Hope they look healthy plants. They've got roots on them, they've got soil and they've got water. Just time and warm weather, we'll see what we get from it. So do have a go at sowing some seeds, whether it's the flowers like the cornflowers, which you could sow now, or if it's some lettuce or salad stuffs or some broccoli. Have a go, because this increases your experience and therefore your knowledge. And you may only sow one flower and one veg this time of the year. Go and get some seeds and have a go, but you'll learn from it and you'll build on your experience. And this is the important thing. Never stop learning with gardening. I've done this now for, let's say, 50 years, and every time I just want to try a different situation. I want to try a different way. I want to find a new angle on doing something, and that's pretty much what my whole gardening ethos is about. It's just having a go. If you don't have a go, you'll never know, as they say. Now, I've recently had an email communication from somebody. I won't mention his name because I haven't got his permission to do so. But he came up with a very useful phrase in that vegetables are just flowers that we and others eat. So bear that in mind. Those people who just want to see the vegetables, if you're growing flowers, the two sort of go hand in hand, and it goes hand in hand with Mother Nature and creates a more natural garden. It attracts those beneficial insects into your garden, you know, things like beetles, which will kill slugs and things. So if you've got that balance going on in your garden, it's all good. And that's one of the reasons why I grow flowers. The other reason, obviously, is I like to cut flowers. I like to take them home, put them in a vase. But do have a go at something and learn from it. But that's it for this video. Look after yourselves, everyone. Please stay safe. I'll see you all very, very soon. Ta-ra now.